do you ever catch yourself
Yeah.
actually being really emotional about stuff? And like, what do you do to kind of get grounded?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. Recently, I had to go to the board to get our equity packages approved. And when I went to the board to get our equity packages approved, I knew that there were a number of places they were going to poke at me at. And I remember the meeting was the next day, and I knew I was going to like go to dinner, I was going to go to bed, and then I was going to wake up in the morning and I was going to have back to back meetings and run straight into that meeting. And I wasn't prepared. And we were reading a book to my daughter. This is a great work-life balance point, by the way, but we were reading a book to my daughter. And while I was reading the book to my daughter, I got like really nervous because I realized like I was not prepared for this meeting that was going to come at me the next day. So we finished reading. I went to the kitchen and we're like about to cook dinner. My wife walked over and I was like, okay, listen, I have this meeting tomorrow. I'm not prepared. And this is what they're going to say. And I don't know the answers to it. And I started talking about it, out loud. And so what I was able to do by talking about it is really go, okay, here's what they're going to say. They're going to say, you just told us this and that. You just told us that and this. And then this equity package looks very different from the things that we just knew. And she was like, okay, so why did you change it? Okay, well, because of this and because of that and because this changed and that changed and this is new and that's new and they don't understand this part yet. She's like, obviously, once you explain what's in your head to them, they're going to support you because they just don't know those things. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I wrote it all down. I went to that meeting and I went like person by person by person by person and said like, hey, here are the reasons, here are the reasons, here are the reasons. And the board was like, yeah, okay, those all make sense. Great. Thank you for doing this for us and bringing us back up to speed. And I think, if you walk into, you can do another thing, right? You could walk into that meeting and go, you know what? Who do they think they are? I'm in here running this business every day. It's one of the most valuable software companies in the country. Like, just give me what I ask for and like move away. Like why do I even have to come to this meeting and justify the things around equity? I'm already being like very considerate about what I'm asking for. These are our, key people in the company. Just sign the thing and let's go. You could go that way. It's like a self-talk thing. You just don't need to be a martyr in all of these situations. Like what my wife said, which was like, as soon as they understand what's in your head, they're going to support you, is just like a much better way to think about the world. And it is my obligation to bring them along with that. And so as long as I go into those situations and I go, okay, don't go negative here. You don't need to. It's just not necessary. They just want to hear how you're thinking about things. That I talk to my executives about all the time. They'll say, Cameron, my CFO, Cameron just he's never supportive of these things. I go, okay, well, why do you say that? Well, when we presented to him, he asked this and he asked that, he asked this. And I was like, well, it just sounds like Cameron's trying to understand how you made the decision, like how you came up with the reasons why you were making this ask. It's not when you ask questions and for clarifications, it's not you saying that you don't trust the person's decision. It's you saying you want to understand it. And wanting to understand how someone makes a decision is very different from not believing they make good decisions. And I think if you can believe that, it's really powerful.